Hey guys, Lord here, back again with another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Series Dreadnought Buzzer, brought to us by the, we'll say, fine folks over at Hasbro for now, even though this guy has two egregious problems that kind of drive me up a wall. That said, this of course is also brought to us by my good buddy, Evil Villain. Click the link in the description below. Give him a follow over on ye old Instagram. While you're at it, let him know Overlord sent you. So you're probably wondering, Overlord, what is wrong with good old Buzzer here? He looks like a fine figure, and that's just it. He looks fine. However, he's got a couple things that do drive me cocoa bananas. And if you watch my torch review from yesterday, you might know what one of those things is. That said, as far as his accessories go, he does come with quite a few, starting off with his knife and his pistol. Because you can't have a Dreadnought without some small sidearm weapons, right? And then he also comes with this crazy buzzsaw axe thing and this crazy grapple hook thing. Now, I might actually give this to my Zorana, but this here is kind of one of his trademark weapons. It's literally like a buzzsaw axe, as far as I can tell anyways. Looks cool. It's a little gummy though, but it looks cool. That said, he also has his chainsaw, skin your ass raw, but again, a little warped, but not terrible. Not enough to notice it in pictures, I don't think. Of course, he can hold this with two hands. He does have a exhaust port somewhere on here, I thought. Right here. You could put like a smoke effect in there. I don't know if the Marvel Legends smoke effects will fit in there, but that'd be cool to put something in there. And then he has his sunglasses. Now you're probably saying, hey, Torch's sunglasses were attached to his head. Yes, and that was smart. This guy and the Ripper are not, and because of that, at least with Buzzer here, they have a tendency not to stay on his head. Now, I did warp these in attempts to get them to stay on his freaking head, and unfortunately, that just kind of wore off, I guess. Even though I froze them, I heated them, and did everything I could to get them to stay, they just don't freaking want to. So this is either going to be one of two things. I heat them up again and warp them more, or I have the old man bust out the super glue and take care of the freaking problem. Like, who the hell is going to display this guy without his shades? I don't know. I really don't. But they're on there for the most part, but I'm gonna have to, especially like this one arm, it's like jacked here. It's like warped outward. It's really stupid that they made those removable. However, what's even worse is this piss poor excuse for an app crunch. Like, what are we doing? Like, really? This is still a problem in 2024/5/3. Like, this is not new science, people. I mean, granted, it is not the most egregious thing, I guess, but even in, like, posed positions, it flops. I heard they switched factories or whatever, but, you know, there's no excuse for old engineering to be effed up like that. That's ridiculous. So, anyone defending Hasbro for this, you're a dunderhead. I'm sorry. So as far as his articulation goes, his head will rotate, look up and down. I do believe he's got a double ball peg in the neck. I say that because, of course, I popped his head off to get those sunglasses to fit. He can tilt quite a bit as well. Shoulders will pop up. He does have that beautiful butterfly. But they will also rotate all the way around. He's got a bicep swivel. Double elbow. That works okay. He's got a swivel hinge wrist. Again, ab crunch. There, it is tight. It's almost like it's too high, and that's why it's doing that. But like every other position, it's floppy. So that sacks. Okay, that sacks. His waist will turn. That's smooth, but it doesn't flop around too much. I will say, if they put the ab crunch down here, where the belt is, like they did on the Power Rangers, and a diaphragm joint up here, probably wouldn't be as loose because you'd have the belt helping hold things in place. But that's not exactly how you want to do that type of articulation. You do want to have the ab crunch here and the ball joint here, but I'd rather just have two ball joints, because at least then you could heat it up, pop it apart, and maybe put something in there, some adhesive, and tighten it up a bit. But that's just me. Hips will kick forward, out. He does have the drop down, it's not too loose. Thigh cut, that's fine. Double knee, that's fine. He's got the boot cut, not attached to the knee pad for once, and then he does have hinge in the foot with a rocker joint and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So there is Buzzer. I knew I was gonna screw it up eventually. In a nutshell, looking fine. You know, he's probably the least cool looking of the Dreadnoughts. I would say probably Torch is the coolest because he looks like Lemmy from Motorhead, and Lemmy from Motorhead is awesome. But, you know, he looks fine. He looks like how he's supposed to look. This is how he looks. They got it right. The only thing they didn't get right are the freaking sunglasses and the ab crunch for whatever reason. So, with that being said, it is time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Buzzer alongside his fellow Dreadnoughts. We have Ripper and Torch, who's also a fellow member of the Flop Crunch Club. However, I think of the two, Buzzer is definitely the worst. I understand that fine folks over at Hasbro switched factories, but it's 2024, 2025. This is not new science. We should not be getting ab crunches that are floppy in the neutral position like anymore. Like, this should have been an issue resolved 10 years ago. Don't know why it's still an issue now. So, getting these two out of the way. So we could bring in our two regulars, the Mythic Legions, Brother Mandibilith. And the infamous Lemon Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everyone. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and despite the fact that good old Buzzer here is by far the weakest of the Dreadnoughts we'll be taking a look at this week, unfortunately, I do still like him, but again, the sunglasses pretty much just falling off his head, and the ab crunch being, well, quite frankly, floppier than Torch's was yesterday. That's just unacceptable at this point. It is 2025 as the time I'm recording this review. These problems should be, if anything, at most, at the very least, whatever you want to call it, in the freaking past, man. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.